User stories and the product backlog. User stories and the product backlog are two important components of Agile project management. Here's an overview of each. 1. User stories. User stories are a way to capture and describe the requirements of a project from the perspective of the end user. User stories typically follow a specific format that includes a user persona, a goal or objective, and a benefit to the user. For example, a user story for a social media app might be, as a user, I want to be able to upload photos to my profile so that I can share my experiences with my friends. User stories are used to help the team understand the needs of the end users and to prioritize the work that needs to be done. User stories should be small and focused, and they should be written in a way that is easy to understand. 2. Product backlog. The product backlog is a prioritized list of all the work that needs to be done on the project. The product backlog is typically managed by the product owner, who is responsible for ensuring that the most important work is at the top of the backlog. The product backlog is constantly evolving as new requirements are added and priorities change. The team should regularly review and refine the product backlog to ensure that they are working on the most important work. User stories are typically added to the product backlog and then prioritized based on their importance to the end user and the overall goals of the project. The team will then work on the items at the top of the backlog during the current sprint. By using user stories and the product backlog, the team can ensure that they are focused on delivering value to the end user and that they are adapting to changing requirements throughout the project. Estimation techniques, planning poker, affinity estimating. Estimation techniques are an important part of Agile project management as they help the team to determine how much work can be accomplished in a given sprint or iteration. Two common estimation techniques used in Agile projects are planning poker and affinity estimating. 1. Planning poker. Planning poker is a collaborative approach to estimating that involves the entire team. The team members each receive a deck of cards with numbers representing story points or relative size of work, and they use these cards to indicate their estimate for a particular user story. After each person has selected a card, they discuss their reasoning for their estimate, and then they all reveal their cards at the same time. If there is a wide discrepancy between estimates, the team discusses the reasons behind the differing opinions and then repeat the estimation process until they reach a consensus. The idea behind planning poker is to encourage collaboration and discussion, while also allowing each team member to have an equal say in the estimation process. By using story points instead of hours, the team can avoid getting bogged down in the details of time estimates and focus on the overall size and complexity of the work. 2. Affinity estimating. Affinity estimating is a quick and easy way to estimate the relative size of a group of user stories. The team writes each user story on a separate card, and then they group the cards into categories based on their level of effort or complexity. For example, one category might be small stories that can be completed in a day or less, while another category might be large stories that will take several days to complete. The team then assigns a number to each category based on the level of effort required. For example, they might assign a value of 1 to the small category and a value of 5 to the large category. This allows the team to quickly estimate the overall size of a group of user stories without getting bogged down in the details of each individual story. The advantage of affinity estimating is that it is quick and easy, and it can be done by the entire team without a lot of preparation or setup. It also encourages collaboration and discussion, as team members can share their reasoning for placing certain stories in certain categories. Both planning poker and affinity estimating are useful techniques for Agile teams, and the choice of which one to use will depend on the specific needs and preferences of the team. Tracking progress, burn-down charts, sprint velocity. In Agile project management, tracking progress is an important part of ensuring that the team stays on track and is able to deliver the product on time. Two common tools used to track progress in Agile projects are burn-down charts and sprint velocity. 1. Burn-down charts. A burn-down chart is a graphical representation of the work remaining in a sprint or iteration. It shows the amount of work remaining on the y-axis and the time remaining on the x-axis. As the team completes tasks and user stories, the chart will show a downward trend, indicating that the team is making progress towards their goal. Burn-down charts are useful because they provide a visual representation of progress, which can help the team to stay motivated and focused on their goals. They also allow the team to identify any potential roadblocks or issues that may be hindering their progress so that they can take corrective action if necessary. 2. Sprint velocity. Sprint velocity is a metric used to measure the amount of work the team is able to complete in a given sprint or iteration. It is calculated by adding up the number of story points or tasks that were completed in the sprint, and then dividing that by the length of the sprint in days. Sprint velocity is useful because it allows the team to estimate how much work they will be able to complete in future sprints based on their past performance. It also helps the team to identify any potential issues or areas for improvement, such as if their velocity is consistently lower than expected. By using both burn-down charts and sprint velocity, Agile teams can track their progress and make data-driven decisions about how to improve their performance in future sprints or iterations. Continuous improvement, retrospectives. Retrospectives are an essential part of continuous improvement in Agile project management. A retrospective is a meeting held at the end of each sprint or iteration, where the team reflects on what went well, what didn't go well, and how they can improve in the future. During a retrospective, the team should focus on the following areas. 1. What went well? The team should discuss the things that went well during the sprint and identify any best practices or successful strategies that they can carry forward into future sprints. 2. What didn't go well? The team should also discuss the things that didn't go well during the sprint and identify any issues or roadblocks that may have hindered their progress. 3. Opportunities for improvement. Based on the discussions about what went well and what didn't go well, the team should identify opportunities for improvement and come up with specific action items that they can implement in the next sprint. It is important to create a safe and open environment during retrospectives, where team members feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and ideas. The retrospective should be a constructive conversation focused on identifying opportunities for improvement, rather than a blame game. Retrospectives are an important tool for continuous improvement in Agile projects, as they allow the team to reflect on their performance and make adjustments to their processes and strategies for the next sprint. By continuously improving their performance, Agile teams can deliver high-quality products that meet the needs of their customers. Module 4: Iterative Development and Continuous Delivery. Iterative Development Process. Iterative development is an Agile software development approach that focuses on building software incrementally through a series of repeated cycles or iterations. Each iteration involves a complete cycle of software development activities, including requirements gathering, design, coding, testing, and delivery of a working product. The iterative development process involves the following steps. 1. Requirements gathering. In the first iteration, the team gathers requirements from the customer or product owner. These requirements are used to define the features and functionality that will be delivered in subsequent iterations. 2. Design. In this step, the team creates a design for the software based on the requirements gathered in the previous step. 3. Coding. The team starts coding the software based on the design and requirements. 4. Testing. Once the code is written, the team tests it to ensure that it meets the requirements and works as expected. 5. Delivery. At the end of the iteration, the team delivers a working product or feature to the customer or product owner. After each iteration, the team evaluates the progress made and the feedback received from the customer or product owner. Based on this feedback, they make adjustments to the product backlog, refine the requirements, and plan the next iteration. The iterative development process is flexible and adaptable, allowing the team to respond to changes in requirements or feedback from the customer. It also allows the team to focus on delivering the most important features first, while leaving less critical features for later iterations. By delivering working software incrementally, the team can quickly respond to changes and ensure that the final product meets the needs of the customer.